What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. We have a ton of stuff that we need to go over because yesterday we had Media Creates. It dropped some big numbers from Monster Hunter, and then of course we hear all about Nintendo's investors meeting, and then they talk about their strategy going forward, where they actually revealed some information about things like the online service and a new mobile game, and then the movie. There's stuff going on everywhere. So we're going to get started, but first I do want to make a correction from yesterday. The Wall Street Journal report that we talked about for EA's Battlefront 2, where it was 9 million that they sold, and they were really annoyed because they didn't get to 10 million. It's actually less than that. It's actually 7 million, and they were annoyed that they didn't get to 8 million. The Wall Street Journal did correct that as well. So I just wanted to let you guys know that it was even worse for EA, I guess, with Battlefront 2. So there's that. But let's get started. We finally got at least a date to a degree. We have a month now for Nintendo's online service. This was part of that investors briefing that they had where they talked about their strategy going forward, and we at least know what month they're shooting for. Now, of course, this can be moved around, delayed. It still seems kind of tentative, although they were at least confident enough to go on Twitter and then also tell their investors, this is what we're doing. The online service is coming September of this year, 2018, but there's still no information about what it will entail. They did say they're trying to do some, I guess, competitive or attractive services with that subscription fee that we already know about, $20 a year. It's pretty low, even though I don't like, and a lot of people don't like having to pay for online services. It's pretty much become, well, the norm, the standard, if you will, for Xbox, PlayStation, and now Nintendo. So you're going to have to be paying to play online with any of these consoles, but at least we know September 2018. Now, they told us before that there was going to be some kind of beta period, right? We're going to try it out. I assume we're in it now. Like, I assume that's it. I would have liked to have tried out some of the other stuff that they probably will show up with. I would like to see integrated voice chat, like I've been saying forever. I don't like the app. But that, cloud saves, and I guess some kind of subscription for Virtual Console, and then also be able to buy it separately. I think these are things that they are looking at, and they just have to kind of weigh the costs and then the pros and the cons. But at least we know September, we're getting the online service that we're going to be paying for. Now, they also announced Mario Kart Tour. Now, this is going to be a mobile game that is Mario Kart from Nintendo, which is odd because we didn't hear anything about this. We knew they were looking into other mobile games. We heard a long time ago from the Wall Street Journal about a Zelda game. But Mario Kart, that actually makes a lot of sense, to be honest. This is the big question. Is it going to be a premium style game, kind of like Mario Run, where you pay and that's it? Or is this going to be a microtransaction type game like Animal Crossing or Fire Emblem, where it's free, but then to upgrade, to do this, that, and the other, you pay money? And they probably will go the route of the gacha games, where it does have, well, loot boxes, to be honest. That's how Fire Emblem's done really well in terms of money, better than Animal Crossing at this point, and, well, it looks to be that reason. People are used to it on mobile. So what's going to happen here, I'm not sure. I assume it'll be a paid type game where you actually just buy it like Mario Run, and that's it. However, who knows? Maybe they saw what's going on with Fire Emblem and they're learning and they're saying that's how we're going to do it. But we do know it's going to be out sometime before March 2019. They just said it will be out before the fiscal year that ends in March 2019. Now, we know the online service is in September, and we know the movie's probably outside of there, which we'll get to in a second. So I guess maybe early 2019, look for this new Mario Kart mobile game that none of us expected to be announced. And yes, they have officially announced the movie, the Super Mario Bros. Movie that appears to be an animation style, kind of like Despicable Me. At least they're using, or at least partnering with the same studio that's done Despicable Me, in the Illumination Studios. And Shigeru Miyamoto is going to be a co-producer of this movie. No word on when it's coming out, or plot details, or screenshot, nothing. We don't see anything. We just know that it is happening. Absolutely. We heard rumors about it previously, which I guess leaked out to press, and then it was reported. So we kind of knew this was coming, but they have officially announced it at this investors briefing, and we at least know Miyamoto is somewhat involved here in a producer role of some kind. So hopefully that'll help with the overall quality of the movie, because he is pretty protective of the Mario IP, so I don't think he's just let them do anything with it. And of course, Despicable Me at least looks good overall in terms of, well, style and animation that does kind of fit in with Mario. So we'll keep an eye on this and see what happens here. But based on previous video game iterations of movies, I don't know how good this is going to be. But hey, it's Mario. Mario seems to work everywhere. If anything, it'll definitely pull in some revenue. Next up, let's talk a little bit about Ys 8 on the Nintendo Switch. We know it was pushed back at this point on the PC till who knows when, and we don't really know exactly an exact date for when it's coming out on the Switch. However, we do know a few things from NIS America's recent live stream where they answer questions, and one of the questions talked about this localization patch that is now out for the Vita, it's out for the PS4, and that was to fix some of the translation, the grammar, text, things they weren't super comfortable with that kind of, I guess, went out with the original version. It is a patch you can download. It's over a gigabyte on the PS4. It's like 200 something megabytes on the Vita. So I guess the question here was, will that be included on the cartridge when you buy it? So if you buy it physically, or I guess if you just download the game, will that just be a part of the file already? Is it already built into the game? And the answer to that is yes. When you buy it on the Switch, if you get it physically in a cartridge, you won't have this gigabyte plus thing to download. It will already be there on the cartridge, which is a nice little perk, I guess, for waiting this long to buy it. Like I said, you can already get it on the Vita, which is already portable, or the PS4. I know there is a large audience on the Switch that will probably buy this that don't have access to a PS4 or a Vita, especially if you're part of the PC community and maybe you bought into the Switch. I know a lot of PC users who are talking about how they bought a Switch because it's interesting to them with the indie games and the Nintendo games. Yeah, if it comes out on the Switch first, you'll probably just buy it on the Switch. It's not like a heavy graphics, demanding game, not graphically anyway, so it's not a big deal, I think, to a lot of PC gamers to get it on the Switch where it's available to them, and it's nice to know that if you buy it, you just have the patch automatically. Next up, let's quickly talk about the Final Fantasy XV Pocket Edition. Remember how we saw that show up and there was speculation about if that was going to be the Switch version or not? Well, it is at least coming out on iOS and Android devices next week. It's actually coming out February 9th, so it's sooner than I thought. This was like out of nowhere. Square decided to just announce it on their website. It just showed up, people started talking about it, and yeah, it's coming out February 9th. You'll be able to download it on your Android or iOS device, and so it's going to span 10 episodes. As far as pricing and release go, the first episode of Pocket Edition, they did tell us this, it will be free for users to download, and you just try it out. Chapters 2 and 3 will be $1 each, or 99 cents, and then chapters 4 through 10 will be $3.99 each, or you can buy all 10 chapters for $19.99 instead of buying them separately. So the big question is, how good will this actually be? How long is each episode? It sounds like the first couple of episodes aren't very long, and then when you get into 4 through 10, it gets much longer as they're more expensive. So we'll have to see how true it is to the regular game, because from what we've heard, this is supposed to be basically just that regular game, but kind of toned down for really the visuals that a phone can produce currently, and then of course the touchscreen controls and everything. So it'll be interesting to see reviews and stuff for it. Just look for it next week, February 9th. Then our last bit of news, let's talk about Media Create sales, because this was a big one. Monster Hunter is on here in full force. Of course, Media Create tracks all of Japan's sales for video games and consoles from the previous week. This does include 2 days for Monster Hunter since it released on Friday, so Friday and Saturday. And here are the results for the games. Monster Hunter is number 1 at 1,245,169 copies sold. That was a lot of units, by the way, that's sold. Mario & Rabbids, actually number 2 still. Remember, this is the second week, 26,088. Splatoon 2 climbs back up to number 3 spot, 25,776. Very close to that 2 million mark, by the way. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, right there at 21,834. Super Mario Odyssey, 16,664. Ultra Sun and Moon, right there at 12,702. Zelda Breath of the Wild right there at 10,240. Dissidia Final Fantasy NT 7,999. Yokai Watch 7,755. And then you see the 7 Deadly Sins. That was its debut week here. 6,961. Let's jump over to the systems next. The PS4 at the top, 140,145. Big jump, obviously, for Monster Hunter. About 90,000 or so jump up to that unit, that amount. That's a lot. Nintendo Switch below that, 47,107. About a 4,000 unit climb from the week prior. 3DS actually drops almost 1,000 down to 11,313. The Vita drops as well down to 3,744. And the Xbox One, surprisingly, jumps up a bit. I did hear people were importing Monster Hunter, which is odd to say the least, but hey, I guess if you are in that area and you're English speaking, maybe you want to import it and play it there, but 1,686. PS4 Pro actually sold 30,000 of that 140,000, which is pretty good, and then 110,000 of those were PS4 base, and then the Xbox One X actually sold 1,618, with just the regular Xbox One S selling 68. So yeah, that is the Monster Hunter effect. Monster Hunter is big in Japan. We knew it was going to sell well. It was only released in Japan on the PS4, whereas Xbox One, you have to import it. People were importing it though. From what I saw pictures online of people importing it. That's a thing over in Japan, which is kind of funny because we over here we always import stuff from Japan. Now they're importing stuff, I guess, from us. Kind of funny to think about. But in this case, yes, Monster Hunter took over Japan as expected. 1.2 million. That's good for Monster Hunter. Now, there have been bigger debuts in the past for Monster Hunter, although those are to a bigger install base. Now, when Monster Hunter generally debuted for the 3DS, for example, though, the 3DS would sell like 250,000 units. So they went out and bought PS4s, but they didn't buy as many as we'd see with the 3DS. Now, that could be price differences. It's hard to say, but you can't take it away from Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter did really well, and we did hear from Capcom saying they shipped roughly 30% or so to Japan, and the rest went out west and other places. So Japan was important, but it sounds like this was definitely geared more towards the west. So we'll have to see those MP numbers for Monster Hunter, and then of course we'll see how much of a tail, no pun intended there, but how much of a tail this Monster Hunter sales have as we go through Media Crate for the next couple weeks. But no doubt this was the PS4's week with Monster Hunter, although they didn't really have any other games really sell that well with those many PS4s selling, because it looks like Nintendo still kind of took over the majority of the top 10. But hey, they still sold 140,000 systems, about 90,000 up from where the Switch was. So it was pretty good overall for Sony and Monster Hunter. So congratulations to Capcom. Big opening for Monster Hunter. This will definitely, at this point, I think we all understand, be the best-selling Monster Hunter that they've ever released. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Newswave today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave a bunch of comments down below about any of the stuff we talked about. Maybe you want to talk about Nintendo's online service. Maybe you think September, that's a little too late. We should be getting it sooner. Maybe like summer, maybe spring, because originally it was supposed to come out last year, and then they're pushing it to late this year, I guess. September would be kind of later, although it's not like winter or anything. Still later, right? Maybe you don't want them to bring it because you don't want to have to pay for it. That's fine too, but let me know about that. What about the mobile version of Mario Kart getting announced? Maybe you want to talk about some of the Monster Hunter sales that we just went over, PS4 sales, Switch sales, and let me know, guys. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.